many real opportunities, but I think we do not have a lot of time. Now, we can all go to meetings such as this and say, yes, great meeting, we had wonderful discussions, and do absolutely nothing. In other words, what will we do differently on Monday, next week? Will we just do the same old things? Now, what I would like to suggest, and I'm more than happy to assist where possible, since I have a research contract with the Department of Energy on the hydrogen economy, to see if we could assist for partnership between, for example, Brazil and the Department of Energy. I've also been in contact with Pete Hodgkin, the Minister for Science and Technology in New Zealand, to form a partnership to spread some of the costs involved and some of the profits involved amongst other interested countries. You see, the United States is a very interesting country, as I find, being a New Zealand citizen and a naturalized American citizen. You have, for example, the Department of Energy in the United States, who is actively involved in looking at alternate sources of energy. You have parts of the administration who look upon getting energy in a somewhat different way. You have countries such as Australasia, Malaysia, who would welcome, I know, a partnership with Brazil to share the costs of the basic research, to share the costs of pilot plant production. But what can we do next week? Who can we telephone? Who can we send emails to next week and arrange for a visit 2 weeks, 3 weeks from now? I'm all too concerned that we will say next week we will keep on doing the same thing as we have always done. Time is short. Time is urgent. Time is critical. Next slide, please. Now, I want to add one other point. Fuel cells, then, I'm suggesting for bioalcohol and biodiesel. It is the direct conversion of organic material in air to give primarily electricity. And the flow of electric current will continue so long as the necessary fuels are supplied. Now, in my own mind, I have no doubt whatsoever that automobiles in the future will be powered by electricity obtained from fuel cells using air and bioalcohol or biodiesel. Let me repeat, I, in my own mind, have no doubt that in the future, automobiles will be powered by fuel cells using air, bioalcohol, and biodiesel to produce electricity. We know that our watches a few years ago were beautiful pieces of mechanical machinery. Beautiful. Wonderfully complex, beautiful machinery. And then we had electronic watches and liquid crystals, and immediately the mechanical watches essentially disappeared. It is my feeling that at this stage of the 21st century, we have automobile engines which are absolutely magnificent pieces of machinery, wonderful pieces of machinery. But I believe that reciprocating engines are very old-fashioned. These will disappear. We will have fuel cells, and we'll have no mechanical moving parts. We will have electric motors. This, I'm sure, will come. In Washington, D.C. at the moment, there are 6 automobiles, only 6, which are powered by fuel cells. These are hydrogen-oxygen fuel cells. I believe each automobile costs several $1 million. So it is not something which one can buy. But I think it is an indication of the future. Next slide, please. Now, again, Piccato Venanzio, my excellent postdoc from Brapa in St. Carlos, he and I, and also a young lady from China, working on the concept of fuel cells involving bioalcohol. We have not yet been successful. We are making slow progress. But the concept involved, we are actually using nanotechnology and organic conducting polymer as catalysts. But if you plot energy, then if you plot energy, so I get, and this is carried out by Everaldo Venanzio, as I say, from Embrapa. For example, oxygen-hydrogen fuel cell, this is energy. Then you form water, and heat, light, electricity can be given out. You must come over this activation energy, and in order to do that, of course, with hydrogen and oxygen, you need to supply a spark or a light, which supplies the energy, and once you get here, vroom, you go down and you get much more energy out. So in the case, in other words, anything that will burn in air, anything that will burn in air is thermodynamically unstable in air. Therefore, in principle, it is possible for that substance, such as alcohol, to give carbon dioxide and water, which will give out electricity. It will happen thermodynamically, it is possible. So it is a matter, really, of who does that and when. Next slide, please. Just to finish then with the hydrogen economy, I was at an international meeting in Italy about 3 months ago, an international meeting on the hydrogen economy. The basic concept here was to find a substitute for gasoline, which one could use in an automobile, namely hydrogen as a substitute. But the question was, how do you store hydrogen and carry it around? The concept of storing hydrogen as a liquid is not practical, but storing hydrogen in various organic and inorganic materials is practical. But the big question is, how do you make hydrogen without increasing the world warming process? Next slide, please. Next slide.